Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2015 to 2030. As part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences, and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating World Wildlife Day. This year, the theme for World Wildlife Day is Join us in connecting the planet. Join us in connecting people and planet, exploring digital innovation in wildlife conservation. So United Nations World Wildlife Day, WWD in short, is celebrated every year on 3rd March to celebrate wild animals and plants. Every year we recognize the unique roles and contributions of wildlife to people and the planet. As already mentioned, the WWD 2024, that is World Wildlife Day theme, is connecting people and planet, exploring digital innovation in wildlife conservation. Let's watch a short video.
Our connections with each other and with nature are transforming. At the same time, we are seeing technology advance and biodiversity decline like never before. Around the world, innovation in digital technologies is helping us communicate, share ideas, and conserve our planet's wild animals and plants. This year, for the United Nations World Wildlife Day, we explore our evolving connection with our planet's extraordinary biodiversity. Join us and find out, what are the digital innovations that are driving wildlife conservation right now? What is the way forward to make sure no one is left behind in the journey to connect people and planet, and to make sure wildlife continues to exist for generations to come?
On 20th December 2013, at the 68th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, March 3rd was declared United Nations World Wildlife Day, WWD. This day holds significance as the day that the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES, was signed in 1973. The UNGA resolution designated the CITES, in short known as CITES. It is Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Secretariat as the facilitator for the global observance of this special day for the wildlife on the UN calendar. UN World Wildlife Day has now become the global annual event dedicated to wildlife. People everywhere rely on wildlife and biodiversity-based resources to meet our needs, from food to fuel, medicines, housing, and clothing. For us to enjoy the benefit and beauty that nature brings us and our planet, people have been working together to make sure ecosystems are able to thrive and plant and animal species are able to exist for future generations. So let's celebrate wildlife and the important conservation work being done around the world. Connecting people and planet, exploring digital innovation in wildlife conservation is the theme for World Wildlife Day 2024. We are exploring digital innovation and highlighting how digital conservation techniques and services can drive wildlife conservation, sustainable and legal wildlife trade, and human-wildlife coexistence now and for future generations in an increasingly connected world. We are in the midst of a global digital revolution that is breaking down barriers to people-centered digital governance and to equal opportunities for all to unleash the power of digital transformation. The digital divide is slowly narrowing, with better connectivity and internet access reaching 66% of our global population. However, around 2.7 billion people of our global population are still not online. On average, only 36% of the population in the least developed countries and landlocked developing countries are online. Women and young people are more likely to experience gaps in internet access and or job-ready digital skills. Technological innovation has made research, communication, tracking, DNA analysis, and many other aspects of wildlife conservation easier, more efficient, and accurate. Yet, uneven access to these new tools, environmental pollution, and unsustainable applications of certain technologies remain critical issues for achieving universal digital inclusion by 2030. World Wildlife Day 2024 is a platform for intergenerational exchange and youth empowerment through art presentations and conversations on the opportunities ahead for our shared sustainable future in digital wildlife conservation. WWD 2024 offers a jumping off point for exploring what digital innovations are available now and intersectional discrepancies we are facing and how we want our digital connectivity to evolve for the people and planet. This year, the site secretariat has teamed up with the United Nations Development Program, Wild Labs, Jackson Wild, host of the World Wildlife Day Showcase, and the International Fund for Animal Welfare, in short known as IFAW, host of the World Wildlife Day Youth Art Contest. While WWD 2024 will be celebrated on 3rd March 2024, the United Nations high-level event will take place on 4th March 2024 at the United Nations headquarters in New York, United States of America, and also will be live streamed on United Nations web TV. So World Wildlife Day is for connecting people with the natural world and inspiring continued learning and action for animals and plants beyond the day. We can see many wild animals are becoming extinct. What do the orangutans of Borneo, the elephants of Sumatra, and the black rhino all have in common? Aside from all being totally cool animals that we watch on YouTube, the more sobering truth about these creatures is that they are all critically endangered species. But on World Wildlife Day, the UN and its partners are planning to raise awareness of the gravity of the dire situation every year. An animal is only placed on the critically endangered species list if the International Union for the Conservation of Nature believes the animal faces a very high risk for extinction. Extinction as in going the way of the dinosaurs and dodo. So what does critically endangered look like? Current estimates put the number of living black rhinos at around 2,500 in the entire world. Russia's Amur leopard, found in the far eastern recesses of the country, is on verge of extinction with only about 40 left in the world. Unfortunately, this list goes on and on. To raise awareness of endangered species, what we all can do. The UN is celebrating World Wildlife Day on March 3rd, marking the day the group signed the Convention of the International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Proposed by Thailand, the United Nations establishes holiday to raise awareness of the world's wild animals and plants on December 20, 2013. The first World Wildlife Day is celebrated on March 3rd, 2014. The theme for the World Wildlife Day 2015 was "It's time to get serious about wildlife crime." And UN announces 2016 theme. The theme for the World Wildlife Day 2016 was "The future of wildlife is in our hands," with the sub-theme "The future of elephants in our hands." The 2017 theme for World Wildlife Day was "Listen to You, to the Young Voices." The theme for World Wildlife Day 2018 was Big Cats, Predators, and Threats. The theme for the World Wildlife Day 2019 was Life Below Water for People and Planet. So, one of the best ways to catch the attention of your friends and spread a message at the same time, especially with animals, is to share a cool fact. Maybe it's on physical media or physically or online or even on social media, or maybe it's around the office or in the colleges, in the schools. Either way, it is a great opportunity to share a little known fact about an endangered animal and hopefully spark some curiosity about conservation. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who vehemently says no to watching the BBC's groundbreaking series Planet Earth or National Geographic Channel or Animal Planet, or there are various channels or television channels dedicated on wildlife. So you can watch now with 2 seasons readily available for online streaming. Use World Wildlife Day as a time to watch this amazing series again or introduce it to those who were unfortunate enough to miss it first time around. People all over the world are expected to come together on March 3rd to discuss ways to discuss the biggest threats of the world wildlife, including habitat change, overexploitation, and illegal tracking. Governments, natural parks, leaders, citizens, and lawmakers will be holding events to raise awareness to find one near you and get to work. World Wildlife Day is important for us as it keeps our food chain in check. To put it in a very simply, if certain creatures were to die out, it would send our food chain far out of whack. In a strong ecosystem, if any link in the food chain breaks, it causes ripples far and wide. Without wolves, elk and deer have no fear and stay in one place longer, eating plants down to their roots. This kills the plants, causing further ripples, and so it goes. And this is the only one specific scenario of what can happen. Imagine so many species are becoming extinct, becoming endangered, and have already lost. So there is a huge gap that is being created by the loss of these extinct species. So it's probably our fault. While there are certainly reasons beyond humanity's control for a species to die off, in many cases today it's due to human activity. However, the good news is that if we caused it, that means we have the power to fix it. Maybe not to the extent, but still, over a period of time, our measures can help us to fix it. Overhunting, illegal game trade, overfishing, and deforestation are all culprits, but none of these are beyond our control. By celebrating World Wildlife Day, we can send a message that these human activities can't go unchecked. Ensuring Earth remains a thriving, living, breathing planet means taking care of everything in it. Overfishing can result in disastrous economic problems for coastal communities dependent on the trade. The loss of a species can lead to the changes in local environment, which can directly affect the humans living there. Wildlife conservation is an integral part of it, creating a sustainable world. Today, we are also commemorating World Hearing Day on March 3rd. World Hearing Day is held on 3rd March each year to raise awareness on how to prevent deafness and hearing loss and promote ear and hearing care across the world. Each year, World Health Organization decides the theme and develops evidence-based advocacy materials such as brochures, flyers, posters, banners, infographics, and presentations, among others. These materials are shared with partners in government and civil society around the world, as well as World Health Organization regional and country offices. At its headquarters in Geneva, World Health Organization organizes an annual World Hearing Day event. In recent years, an increasing number of member states and other partner agencies have joined World Hearing Day by hosting a range of activities and events in their countries. World Health Organization invites all stakeholders to join the global initiative. We'll resume in a minute. So every year, World Health Organization assigns a theme for the celebrations. Since 2015, the themes have been like World Hearing Day 2015, the theme was Make Listening Safe. And for World Hearing Day 2016, the theme was Act Now, Here is How. And the theme for World Hearing Day 2017, Make a Sound Investment. And theme for World Hearing Day 2018, Hear the Future. And for theme for World Hearing Day 2019 was Check Your Hearing. Theme for World Hearing Day 2020 was Hearing for Life. Theme for World Hearing Day 2021 was Hearing Care for All. And World Hearing Day 2022 to Hear for Life, Listen with Care. And the theme for World Hearing Day 2023 was Ear and Hearing Care for All. Let's make it a reality. And finally, the theme for this year, World Hearing Day 2024, is Changing Mindsets. Let's make ear and hearing care a reality for all. Hearing loss has often been referred to as an invisible disability, not just because of the lack of visible symptoms, but because it has been long stigmatized in communities and ignored by policymakers. World Hearing Day 2024 will focus on overcoming the challenges posed by societal misperceptions and stigmatizing mindsets through awareness raising and information sharing targeted at the public health and care providers. Globally, over 80% of ear and hearing care needs remain unmet. Unaddressed hearing losses poses an annual cost of nearly US dollars 1 trillion globally. Deeply ingrained societal misperceptions and stigmatizing mindsets are key factors that limit efforts for preventing and addressing hearing loss. Changing the mindsets related to ear and hearing care is crucial to improving access and mitigating the cost of unaddressed hearing loss. World Hearing Day 2024 will be observed with the following objectives: counter the common misperceptions related to ear and hearing problems in communities and among healthcare providers, provide accurate and evidence-based information to change public perceptions of ear and hearing problems, call on countries and civil society to address misperception and stigmatizing mindsets related to hearing loss as a crucial step towards ensuring equitable access to ear and hearing care. World Health Organization estimates that unaddressed hearing loss poses an annual cost of $980 billion each year. This is the cost incurred due to the impact of hearing loss without rehabilitation access, including productivity losses and social inclusion. Globally, over 80% of the ear and hearing care needs remain unmet. Unaddressed hearing loss poses an annual cost of nearly US dollars 1 trillion globally. Deeply ingrained societal misperceptions and stigmatizing mindsets are key factors that limit efforts for preventing and addressing hearing loss. Changing mindsets relating to ear and hearing care is crucial to improving access and mitigating the cost of unaddressed hearing loss. As already mentioned, World Hearing Day on March 3rd every year is observed to raise public awareness about how to avoid deafness and hearing impairment, as well as to support ear and hearing care around the world. The World Health Organization, WHO, chooses the theme each year and seeks to demonstrate the need for early detection and treatment for hearing loss on World Hearing Day. Many people have undiagnosed hearing problems and are unaware that they are missing out on important sounds phrases. The first step in dealing with the problem is to assess one's hearing. World Hearing Day is an annual campaign organized by the World Health Organization's Office for the Prevention of Blindness and Deafness. There are events taking place throughout the world, including one on March 3rd and at the World Health Organization. The campaign's goals are to disseminate information and to encourage people to take steps to avoid hearing loss and enhance hearing care. This day was celebrated for the first time in 2007. Before 2016, it was called International Ear Care Day. World Health Organization chooses a subject each year and prepares instruction materials and makes them publicly available in a variety of languages. It also plans and reports on events all across the world. Deaf persons who can communicate using hand signals are proud of their heritage. In 1816, deaf educator Lauren Clark and American educator Thomas H. Gallaudet helped establish the country's first permanent institution for deaf students. The late 1850s saw a debate held in the West regarding whether to establish a separate deaf state. The concept was inspired by an event in which American Congress handed the American asylum, a small section of Alabama. The deaf statue was to be a place where deaf persons could move and flourish if they so decide, but the plan failed and the argument died with it. The very first World Report on Hearing was released in 2021 to commemorate World Hearing Day. World Health Organization hopes to reach out to national governments, global NGOs and development organizations, along with players in the hearing care sector to raise awareness and organize action through the global release of the report. The World Report on Hearing and World Hearing Day presents a global call to action to elevate hearing loss and ear illness. Lauren Clark helps to establish the earliest recorded permanent institution for deaf students in the US. Clark and Gallaudet make an impact since 1860. Hearing educators agree to embrace oral teaching and eliminate sign language from classrooms at the Second International Congress on Deaf Education in Milan, Italy in 1880. World Health Organization creates the holiday to raise awareness for hearing loss since 2007. The holiday, originally called International Ear Care Day, is renamed World Hearing Day in 2016. May is Better Hearing and Speech Month. The ASHA, American Speech Language Hearing Association, came up with the idea in 1927 to support people at risk of suffering hearing loss caused by loud sounds. It is crucial to remember that there's nothing wrong with persons who are extremely talented in analytical abilities, even if they are late talkers, have limited language skills. SLPs work with children and adults to prevent, examine, identify, and address speaking language, social skills, cognitive communication, and swallowing issues. So raise awareness on ear care and issues that affect hearing loss on the day. Share relevant materials with friends on social media. Many people have undiagnosed hearing problems. Early detection is key to fighting it. Why not take ear tests? Remember to invite a friend to take the test too. The most common cause of hearing loss is chronic ear infections, which are left untreated. Noise is among the main preventable causes of hearing loss, a little peace and quiet. Public health efforts can prevent over 60% of hearing loss cases concerning children with timely intervention. According to the 2021 World Report on Hearing, almost one-fifth of the world's population suffer from hearing loss. The majority of people with hearing impairment do not have access to the treatments, according to the same 2021 report, with poor response. World Hearing Day raises awareness about hearing loss and also aims to create awareness about hearing loss and inspire global action concerning preventive measures. This is important in checking existing cases and reducing the emergence of new ones. Community involvement plays a major role in keeping hearing loss cases under control. This observance is an opportunity for the deaf community to work alongside their representative organizations, health systems, and governments to solve hearing related issues. World Hearing Day is observed around the world. Its impact is far reaching and sheds light on the dynamic nature of hearing impaired and how the global community can play its part. Today is also commemorated as World Orphan Week from March 3rd to 9th, 2024. It is celebrated in the first full week of March, and this year it will be held from March 3rd to 9th. This special week is observed to raise awareness for the orphan and abandoned children all over the world. Did you know that over 80% of the children in orphanages globally have a living parent? Yes, in most cases, children are put in orphanages because their parents cannot afford to take care of them, and so they abandon them. This day is all about changing the orphan stories and making a real difference in this world. World Orphan Week is an international event that aims to highlight the issues faced by orphan children and raise awareness and funds to help these poor souls. World Orphan Week was founded by an organization called SOS Children's Villages in 2005. It is an international children's charity that is dedicated to the care of children who have lost parental care. SOS Children Villages organization was founded by an Austrian man named Hermann Manner in 1949. Hermann was a medical student who couldn't bear to see the sufferings and hardships of orphan and abandoned children after the World War II. He was motivated to do something to help the child and so created the SOS Children's Village organization. The largest charity organization for orphan children, SOS Children's Village, and its sister organizations in 125 countries work tirelessly across the globe to give abandoned children homes, families, and access to education and medical care. Currently, there are around 153 million orphan children worldwide, and many more children are living without basic amenities such as food, shelter, and clothes. World Orphan Week is an initiative that can shed light on these issues and share the facts to get people around the world involved in working for the welfare of children who are in need. Together, we can make a difference in the world. World War II leaves many children homeless and without parents. The devastating World War II in 1949. Medic Hermann Manner establishes SOS Children's Village in Austria, the birth of SOS Villages in 1949. The first World Orphan Week is observed across the world in 2005. The international community comes together and develops the UN guidelines for the alternative care of children, a document intended to inform the approach to alternative care for children, the policy on alternative care for children in 2009. The word is not pejorative as long as you mean well, and it's okay to call a child an orphan. World Orphans Day is celebrated on November 14th every year. According to the UNICEF, as of 2021, there are about 153 million children worldwide who are orphans. So the best thing you can do on World Orphan Day is to donate to SOS Children's Villages or to any other charity that supports the welfare and development of orphans. You can even continue your contributions throughout the year. Do what you can to raise awareness in your locality about the hardships faced by orphan and abandoned children. The more people know about the predicament of these abandoned kids, the better children's chances of getting the help they need. If you or someone you know are the unfortunate victims of abandonment at a young age, you can share the story of social media. Let people know what the problems faced by the orphan children. Globally, poverty, not parent loss, is the reason children end up in orphanages. Poverty is the main culprit. Children who stay in orphanages for a longer period can experience social developmental delays. The number of orphanages is increasing worldwide, especially in Asia. Orphanage numbers are increasing. It can be 10 times more expensive to take care of children in orphanages than in a family setting. So orphanages can be expensive. About 8 million children are living in orphanages worldwide. World Orphan Day is about raising funds to help the children in need, but more importantly, it's about letting the world know about the life of these children who grow up without a family. Although almost everybody has a soft spot for orphan children, most of the time we don't take any action because we have no clue how to help them. World Orphan Week creates awareness about orphan kids as well as shows us how we can help. By contributing and working towards the welfare of these children in need, you are potentially paving a way better for brighter future for them. You are helping not just a child, but the entire community. Today is also commemorated as World Glaucoma Week from March 3rd to 9th. It is observed in the second full week of March and takes place from 3 to 9 this year. It aims to create awareness about a medical condition that affects countless people around the world. The observance aims to prioritize early detection and treatment as a glaucoma remains one of the major causes of blindness all over the world. World Glaucoma Week was launched in 2010 by the World Glaucoma Patient Association and the World Glaucoma Association to provide a forum for anyone seeking to enhance eye health to better comprehend the serious implications of glaucoma. Glaucoma is a word that refers to a set of eye illnesses that are characterized by gradual and permanent optic nerve damage. The nerve in the eye that controls vision that can lead to blindness if left untreated. Increased ocular pressure is one of the most important reasons. However, those with perfectly natural eye pressure can still suffer glaucoma. The two most prevalent kinds of glaucoma, according to the World Health Organization, are primarily open-angle glaucoma, POAC, which has a gradual and often sneaky start, and angle closure glaucoma, ACG, which isn't as common, but it is not severe. While the average person has a 2.3% chance of developing glaucoma, first-degree relatives, FDRs of affected patients, face an increased risk of up to 10 times that amount. As a result, educating FDRs about the importance of glaucoma detection, which includes an evaluation of the optic nerve, may help to prevent a lot of new cases. Glaucoma is believed to be the cause of blindness in 4.5 million individuals, according to the World Health Organization. Glaucoma is a major cause of permanent blindness in India, affecting approximately 12 million people and leaving 1.2 million blind. At the community level, more than 90% of glaucoma cases go undiagnosed. Although little is known about glaucoma prevention, Early detection and treatment is the ideal method to avoid glaucoma-related blindness. Von Helmholtz invents the ophthalmoscope. In 1850, the introduction of ophthalmoscope makes the detection of glaucomatous changes possible. Von Graffi conducts the first successful glaucoma surgery, iridectomy, in 1856. Donders discovers that high intraocular pressure causes blindness. In 1862, glaucoma simplex. The introduction of pilocarpine marks the beginning of drug treatment. In 1817, 5-pilocarpines comes into play. The World Glaucoma Patient Association and the World Glaucoma Association declare World Glaucoma Week in 2010. China holds the record for the largest number of ACG and POAG cases, with India and Europe following behind. Glaucoma affects African Americans at a higher rate, and the most of these are early onset cases occurring up to 10 years before other ethnic groups. People with a family history of glaucoma face a higher risk of suffering from glaucoma. Relatives of glaucoma patients are more likely to be affected by the illness. Ask right questions about the family history and find out if you are at risk. Understanding the dangers and taking preventive action is critical. Visit your optometrist during World Glaucoma Week, schedule an eye test and make sure that the glaucoma test as well. Research glaucoma, it causes symptoms and possible effects, so share this information within your social circles to help someone who might need it. The World Health Organization estimates that about 4.5 million people all over the world suffer from glaucoma-related blindness. Glaucoma is incurable. Lost vision cannot be restored. Even babies can be affected by glaucoma. People with open angle glaucoma do not experience any symptoms. According to the Salisbury Eye Evaluation Study, Ophthalmal 2000, African Americans are more vulnerable to visual impairment from glaucoma compared to Caucasians. World Glaucoma Week is a rallying cry for people to take action against glaucoma. Medical personnel, eye care professionals, and the general public are encouraged to join a series of engaging global events to raise awareness. Similar to most illness, early detection is critical to reducing the effects and spread of glaucoma. World Glaucoma Week aims to create a sense of importance priority concerning regular optic nerve and general eye tests. This observance provides a platform to celebrate the contributions of organizations and the medical personnel who support, treat, and care for glaucoma patients. This week is also commemorated as Women in Construction Week, starting from March 3rd to 9th, which is placed during the first full week in March every year. It is a time to highlight all the great initiatives and work of women within the industry. Likewise, it is a time that brings to the fore the opportunities that are available to the women in construction. Women in Construction Week traces the history of women in construction, their challenges, and the ways they have been able to overcome. The holiday is observed to appreciate the women who have taken the bold step to enter the construction industry, and also to encourage those willing to make similar commitments. The history of Women in Construction Week is linked with that of National Association of Women in Constructions. It was first called Women in Construction of Fort Worth, founded in 1953 by 16 women working in the construction industry. It was created in order to support few women working in construction at that time. It later became the National Association of Women in Construction. The association has since gone on ease the passage of women into construction, helping to create awareness and better working space for those who desire to work in the industry. There's about 115 chapters across the country. The National Association of Women in Construction offers its members education, support, and networking to help advance their careers in construction, build their technical skills, and become leaders. Every woman in construction is welcome to join the association. In 1960, Women in Construction Work was introduced in the honor of the association through the celebration of women in construction and the numerous efforts of the association, and many more women have taken the bold step to venture in the industry, which is predominantly filled with men. The stigma around the women working in construction has reduced drastically. In addition, the pay gap between the men and women is relatively small compared to other industries. These, along with several other fees, are the many achievements of National Association of Women in Construction. The association also has an international focus, having several affiliations with countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and the UK. The purpose is similar everywhere to strengthen and amplify the success of women in the construction industry. The famous bridge is completed under the management of Emily Roebing in 1883. The association is founded by 16 women working in construction in 1953. The association gains its national charter and officially becomes the National Association of Women in Construction in 1955. So, Women in Construction Week is proclaimed by the mayor of Texas in 1960. Quite a number of women do get their hands dirty on construction sites, working on a construction site. It is now safer for both women and men to work in construction site since safety measures and equipments have improved. Associations like National Association of Women in Construction deliver training and educational material for women who want to forge a career in construction. There are several opportunities for women in construction today. You can visit schools or use media to spread the message, encourage women to take construction opportunities. If you are a woman in construction, then you should definitely join an association of female construction workers. You can find a local association or even you can join an international one. One of the best ways to grow in the industry is to share ideas with each other, have a hangout session with other women in construction, and talk possible innovations. Women working in a construction comprised about 1.5% of the entire US workforce in 2018. On average, women in construction earn almost as much as men at about 99.1%, a small pay gap between the gender. About 10% of the construction workers are women, with an approximate 101,699 women recorded in 2018. Most women in construction are in office and project management positions, which are occupied by women. About 13% of the construction companies are owned by women. Women in construction are very confident and hardworking. They are responsible for many wonderful works, and we appreciate them for it. Women in Construction Week is a time to encourage more women to seek construction opportunities. Women are especially influenced by the exploits of other women who tell their stories. There used to be a stigma against women being in construction, but with this day, people are beginning to see that women are more capable. This week is also commemorated as Words Matter Week in US from March 3rd to 9th, which is celebrated in the first full week in March. Have you ever said something to someone and immediately thought, I probably shouldn't have said that? Or you felt you could have expressed in a better or more soothing way? If as National Words Matter Week is just for you or just as it is for everyone else, it is a call to action to remind ourselves that our words and how we communicate with others truly matter. No matter the language you speak, feelings and expressions remain the same, and so National Words Matter Week should be celebrated by everyone. Words Matter Week is spearheaded by the National Association of Independent Writers and Editors, in short known as NAIW, and has been celebrated as far back as 2008 when the first one was observed. NAIB is a professional association for all publishing professionals, and its mission is to help members succeed with its unique focus on creating multiple streams of income. The National Association of Independent Writers and Editors, NAIWE, was founded in 2007. It was originally called the National Association of Independent Writing Evaluators, and as the time passed and the association grew, it changed the name to accommodate all its members as well as its mission in 2009. The association is international in scope and reach, and its membership isn't not restricted by geographical borders as it has members in every continent in the world. So it is a week-long celebration to use words properly and all sorts of fun activities centered around the use of the words. Speaking an individual's language is not just about speaking a national language that person understands. The language has to be used strategically as well. You will need to speak in the communication style that resonates with them, speak to what they value, what they need, and what they respect. By so doing, your message will not just be heard, but accepted as well. For example, someone who refers to himself as queer wouldn't have an issue getting called that by someone who is the same, but might have an issue being called that by someone who is not. Likewise, some words come with prejudice, and so we should be mindful of their use of them. Whether you are a blogger, copywriter, copy editor, or publicist in any profession in the world, or just that random person walking down the street, make sure to use the words the right way. The National Association of Independent Writing Evaluators is founded in 2007. The first edition of National Words Matter Week is celebrated in 2008. The name of the association is changed to the National Association of Independent Writers and Editors, in short known as NAIWE, in 2009. National Words Matter Weeks is celebrated for the 10th year, the milestone achievement in 2018. The National Words Matter Week is celebrated for the 10th year, the milestone achievement in 2018. The longest English word has nearly 190,000 characters. The shortest word in the dictionary that contains all 5 vowels, the word is eunoia. The longest word without a vowel, there are actually 2 words. CRWTH and CWTCH are of Welsh origin, which means a musical instrument and a cupboard, respectively. The word with XYZ in order, the word is hydroxyzine, and it refers to the type of medicine that helps with sneezing and anxiety. The day before yesterday has a word. The word is called nudistatian, but given the time it would take you to explain it, it must be best to stick with the day before yesterday. Uncopyrightable and dermatoglyphics are the two longest words in English language that doesn't repeat a letter, the single letter use words. Qualtag is a word for this, and it can be used to describe the first person to enter your home in the new year. The verb and sometimes noun of the word set has the most meanings of any English word, with 430 listed in the dictionary. Celebrating National Words Matter Week helps us to realize that we might be offending some people unknowingly. After this, we can learn to control our words with the different activities that happen during this week. We are bound to learn a word or two. This goes on to help us better express ourselves. There is no way you can learn new words and your writing stays the same. With the week coming by, we don't just learn new words but improve our writing as well. This week is also commemorated as Teen Tech Week in US from March 3rd to 9th. It begins on first Sunday on March and runs for a full week. It is an annual event usually hosted by local libraries to encourage teens to make the most out of digital hardware available in their facilities. Digital media has grown exponentially over the years and teens are sometimes left behind. This holiday makes sure that they keep up to date in a guided manner. They are taught new skills and learn to know how to access content on internet. And they also learn to use all the available digital tools at their disposal. Teen Tech Week was introduced in 2007 by Young Adult Library Services Association and the American Library Association. It was created at a time when most kids didn't own a personal computer and couldn't afford to fit perfectly into the digital age. Even those who later came to their own personal computers still needed help getting the most out of them. They required the guidance of professionals who understood these devices better, and also many other resources could only be accessed in places like libraries. Teens are encouraged to spend as much as time possible at their local or school libraries during the holiday. Although Teen Tech Week was conceived solely for teens, other targeted parties include parents, educators, and adults who are concerned about the place of children in the digital age. According to Young Adult Library Services Association, the purpose of Teen Tech Week is to ensure that teens are competent and ethical users of digital media, especially the non-profit resources offered through libraries such as e-books, e-readers, databases, audiobooks, and social media. As digital media improved, Teen Tech Week also began to incorporate new technologies into this day. During these days, this week, librarians are recognized most especially for their role in promulgation of information technology. Likewise, libraries usually contain the latest digital equipment needed to aid students' learning. Nowadays, teens have easy access to computers, but this day continues to offer a safer environment for them to grow in the digital space. The first electronic computer named ENIAC, the first generation computer, weighed 30 tons and occupied 1,800 square feet of space. The first computer programmer was a woman. The first known computer programmer was a woman named Ada Lovelace. The IBM 3380 announced in 1980 could store up to 2.52 GB and cost about $80,000, the first gigabyte hard drive. Some of the biggest computer brands like Apple and Microsoft started in garage. It was invented by Doug Engelbart in 1964 and it was made out of wood. So, Teen Tech Week helps to guide teens through digital media using fun, creative initiatives. Not only do they learn, but they also enjoy themselves doing so. Emphasis is placed on internet safety during Tech Teen Week. This helps to keep teens away from harmful content. Teen Tech Week can inspire a child to take computer related courses. When they do this, they become professionals in the field. This week is also commemorated as School Social Work Week in US from March 3rd to 9th. School Social Work Week is marked every first full week of March to celebrate school social workers across the nation in US and appreciate their work in helping students achieve academic success. Did you know social work began in the US schools over 110 years ago by visiting teachers? School social workers are professionals within the social work field that work with teachers, parents, and school administrators. They help students deal with mental health and behavioral challenges and provide academic and classroom support. They also help in developing education policies, work with crisis interventions, and identify and report child neglect and abuse. School social workers mainly work in primary and secondary schools to support the work of social workers. Many organizations offer scholarships to students on their performance, skills, and behavior. School social work is a specialized subdivision of the social work field, and its history is not complete without exploring how social work became a profession. In the US, social work itself, rooted in the charity which sprung up the actions of various religious organizations. The earliest factual and organized works of charity can be traced by the 4th century when the Roman Emperor Constantine I endorsed Christianity in the West. But often here, the charity, especially when it comes to certain religions, is a business, not a charity, but it expects something in return. But though that's why we see a lot of these Western concepts of charity doesn't truly reflect the charity. It reflects somewhat with business. So, with the backing of the Roman Empire, the church established burial societies, poorhouses, homes for the aged, orphanages, hospitals, and shelters across the ancient Rome cities in the West. These continued until 17th century with the Christian church stepping in to provide relief and large-scale charitable activities as the European governments of that time had no capacity for such endeavors. The Industrial Revolution moved charitable activities from the responsibility of the church and family to the state, leading to the creation of social welfare services and professional social workers. However, since poverty was a focused social problem, early social work was still linked to charity work. The early 20th century expanded the social work framework, taking a more professional and scientific approach. Around this period from 1907 to 1908, school social work began in the United States. It began with visiting teachers and getting involved in improving student attendance and building close knitted relationships between home and school. The visiting teacher movement grew in the 1920s when supporters saw the need to address increasing juvenile delinquency and social maladjustment. The growing number of visiting teachers led to the establishment of National Association of Visiting Teachers, later changed to the American Association of School Social Workers in 1945, and then the National Association of Social Workers in 1955. In 1994, the government included school social workers in American Education Act. In July of that year, the School Social Work Association of America was founded by 64 school social workers across the US. In July of that year, the School Social Work Association of America was founded by 64 school social workers across the US. The revolution of social work in 18th century, social work shifts from religious bodies and families to the responsibility of the state, establishing the social welfare system and professional social workers as a result of the Industrial Revolution. Visiting teachers help schools to improve attendance rates and build relationships between home and school, and thus school social work is born in between 1907 to 1908. The US government includes school social workers in the American Education Act, an essential element of the educational system, in 1994. The national meeting in Edwardsville, Illinois is held by 64 school social workers across the US to form the School Social Work Association of America, the founding of the SSWAA in July 1990. School counselors usually focus on helping students achieve their academic goals by organizing one-to-one or group-based counseling sessions. On the other hand, school social workers focus on helping individual students obtain the needed support for better academic and social performance. A prospective school social worker must obtain a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in social work. With a school internship experience, however, these requirements vary from state to state. Like every other job, school social work can be stressful depending on the environment and the challenges and problems they have to navigate and solve. However, most school social workers tend to overlook the stress as they believe the job is worth it. While the National School Social Work Week was founded and promoted by SSWAA, it is still not yet officially recognized in some states. If you love the work that school social workers are doing, you can help get the National School Social Work Week proclamation signed by your state government. If you have social workers that have impacted your life or your school directly or indirectly, get them a gift. A branded mug, free lunch, thank you cards, flowers, and cookies are some of the gifts you can get. If you work in a school, you can organize a small office appreciation event with decorations and presents. Another way to celebrate National School Social Work Week is to use your media or social online media presence to promote the week through the fantastic works that social workers have done. You can also put up branded posters in your school. Statistics from the US government show that the professional social workers deliver 60% of the mental health treatment. The largest mental health service providers are school social workers. To become a social worker, they need to have bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree in social work and a minimum number of hours in supervised field work. Social workers need to earn a degree in social work. You can find social workers in various fields, including corporate organizations, police departments, military facilities, and hospitals. Social workers work in almost all fields. Over 170 social workers can be found in political offices on the local, state, and national levels, including the Senate and House of Representatives. They occupy political elected offices. Operating as a social worker without the relevant degree and registering with the regulatory body can land you in jail, and it can be a criminal offense. School social workers' impact on social and academic development cannot be overstated, which is why it is essential to set aside special time to appreciate their effort. Using this social work week to appreciate the social workers in your school and show them how much you care about them and the work they do for the students, school, and parents. School social workers move beyond the classroom to investigate the root cause of a student's academic and behavioral challenges. Once the causes are discovered, they recommend solutions and provide social services that help tackle them. School social workers help students with behavioral, emotional, and developmental challenges. including those with learning disabilities and living through traumatic experiences and drug addicts. They liaise with the school and parents to assess condition of these students and provide assistance to enable the student to achieve academic excellence and emotional well-being. This week is also commemorated as Written the Book, Borrowed Books Week in US from March 3rd to 9th, which is celebrated in the first week of March as a reminder to return the books you borrowed from the library. It takes place from March 3rd to 9th this year. Too often books are borrowed and hardly returned to their rightful places, the library. No matter the reason you borrowed the book, research, entertainment, or looking for valuable information, books borrowed from the library should be returned so that next person can experience the same joy you did. Read more about how you can pass on the torch of information when you return your borrowed books. A notable creator, director, and cartoonist in the Los Angeles region, Al Callen founded Return the Borrowed Books Week to raise awareness about the importance of returning borrowed books. A request from his third grade teacher, Sister Cyril Dine at the Holy Cross School, served as a primary source of inspiration for the holiday celebration. According to an obituary published in the Pasadena Star News in 2006, he was approached by Sister Cyril Dine, who was former librarian at St. Mary's Hospital at that time. As a former librarian herself, Sister Geraldine inspired him when she requested in 1953 that he start the holiday to encourage those in public and private libraries to return the books they have taken out so that other people can enjoy the same feelings they got when reading the book. So libraries all over the country promote this day to encourage their members to return any borrowed books to their shelves to preserve the history of the collection and allow others to enjoy the same books they enjoy. It is a great initiative so that libraries are stacked with books at all the times and people can go there to get important information. Sometimes books get forgotten, but this is a reminder that the book was useful to you and can be useful to another person. On July 1st, 1731, the first lending library is formed after 50 founding stakeholders pooled 40 shillings and agreed to pay 10 shillings per annum thereafter in the West. The oldest library still in existence in the West is Derby, Pennsylvania. The oldest public library still continued service in its establishment since 1743. The first tax-supported public library in New Hampshire, the world's first free public library supported by tax, is established in 1833. Al Callen creates Return the Borrowed Books Week in 1953. Typically, a book can be kept for 3 weeks, although certain books can only be kept for a week so that others have opportunity to read them. The official word used when borrowing a book from the library is called loaning a book. A lending library is a library where people can lend books from and take them home and return them at a later time. A good way to celebrate is by returning books you borrowed to the library so that other people can gain from the book the way you did. Search to see if you have any books with you and encourage your friends and family to do the same. You can partner with your local library to provide support and help spread the word about returning borrowed books. You can also help them hang posters around your school, the library, or town in places where people can see them easily. Help spread the word about returning your borrowed books week. Tell as many people as you can and post something to your online and social media accounts about the day. A library book that was overdue for 122 years was eventually written. This was a style of handwriting used by librarians, as it was believed legible handwriting was mandatory for card catalogs, the librarian hand. There is no wrong time for returns. There is no such things as too late when it comes to returning a book. The most stolen books from public libraries are the Bible and the Guinness Book of World Records. The Library of Congress is the biggest in the world, in the largest library in the West. The borrowed books are returned and reunited with other books. The library becomes stocked with books that were not returned, and other people can have a chance to borrow those books. Imagine all the books in the library are borrowed and you walk in to see no books. You'll be confused because libraries are just random buildings and not fortress of knowledge and insight. Returning your borrowed books helps keep libraries open. By returning books, future generations can read all the literary books available from Shakespeare to Dickens to new authors springing up. History is also preserved in books so that readers can get a glimpse into what the past was like. This week is also commemorated as Read and eBook Week in US from March 3rd to 9th, which comes up annually in the first full week of March. It is a holiday that encourages the use of ebook platforms as a primary publishing route. During Read and eBook Week, authors and book retailers have the chance to publicize their books, attracting thousands of readers by offering considerable discounts, while some even offer their books up for free. Readers can then easily access and enjoy these books from the comfort of their portable devices. In 2004, Rita Tovis introduced Read a Book Week after being frustrated by the traditional mode of publishing and distribution. Many great books were being released by new authors, but their works were not recognized by regular publishers and distributors. According to the Tovis, it was almost impossible for new authors to be promoted, so there had to be another means of getting their voices heard. At the time ebooks were relatively new and not well accepted, the best way to do that was to start Read an eBook Week. Immediately, she registered the event to make it legitimate and informed libraries, TVs, and radio stations, as well as others, authors, retailers, and publishers about the initiative. This day was created to allow new and upcoming writers to advertise their books to a much larger audience. In the same manner, retailers can also announce discounts on ebooks, while some go as far as offering their books for free. This gesture attracts thousands of readers. Read an Book Week also born out of the idea that ebooks are an efficient, if not a more effective way of directing books from authors to readers. A centralized website was also established along with the holiday where retailers and authors can put up the promo for their books. It is from the general website that readers and book lovers are then directed to the respective websites of retailers. As a result, people soon responded and readers are attracted in their thousands to the websites of the retailers who bought into this initiative. So writer Bob Brown discloses an idea of an e-reader called Readies, and the idea of e-reader is conceived in 1930. Angela Ruiz Robis invents a device called Encyclopedia Mechanica to reduce the burden of school children having to bring numerous books to school, the first known automated reading device in 1949. The first modern ebook, Michael S. Hart invents the device to pioneer what we know today as the ebook in 1971. Rita Tovis introduces Read an eBook Week in 2004. So Michael S. Hart developed the first ever ebook publishing, the US Declaration of Independence. Ebook doesn't require paper. They are inexpensive, portable, and easy to access. There are several free ebooks on the internet. There are plethora of ebooks available on the internet. Take advantage of the discounted prices and try to finish reading a book. One of the easiest formats to publish it is in the ebook format. One of the best times to do so is reading an ebook week. Use your online and social media accounts to spread the word about this day. Also, invite your friends to take up reading list and engage in discussions over it. The first ISBN for an ebook was obtained by author Kim D. Black. The Sony Data Discman was one of the first ebook readers and was launched to the public in Japan, which was the first commercially available ebook reader. The smallest ebook reader is a 2.9-inch e-ink display designed just for reading haiku. James Patterson is the first author to sell 1 million ebooks. More than 70% of the libraries in the US offer ebook services. This day is a perfect time to enjoy the book you haven't put off for a long time. You can engage with your friends or go at it online, and it encourages more reading. Book lovers can take advantage of the discount offer and free sales to stock their digital library. It's a good time for aspiring writers to promote their books. Ebooks are completely digital and therefore do not require the usage of paper and other materials. This helps the environment and we love it. This week is also commemorated as Professional Pet Sitters Week in US from March 3rd to 9th, which falls during the first week in March. Throughout the week, pet sitters are recognized and appreciated for the incredible job they do. For many households, pets are more or less a part of the family. Thus, when pet owners are indisposed by work or travel, pet sitters are the best bet to give the best care to the pets that are left behind. It is very important work and has become a career worth celebrating. Professional Pet Sitters Week was introduced in 1995 by Pet Sitters International. This day runs through the first full week in March. According to the Pet Sitters International, this annual observance honors professional pet care providers, seeks to educate the pet owning public about the advantages of professional in-home pet care, and encourages pet-loving entrepreneurs to explore professional pet sitting as a viable career. Today, pet sitting has become an illustrious and well-appreciated career. This trend is expected to rise as many pet owners continue to see the importance of employing professional help in caring for their pets, but this wasn't always the case. In 1983, when Patty J. Moran began her pet sitting business, she wasn't immediately recognized and she faced a lack of enthusiasm from insurance companies and the general public. But her passion pushed her on, and in 1987, she wrote on the topic Pet Sitting for Profit, which eventually became published as a guidebook for professional pet sitters. Over the next 7 years, she was able to garner public support and also unify other pet sitters. And in 1994, Pet Sitters International was born. Over the years, Pet Sitters International has continued to provide resources to pet sitters and others who desire to venture into the business of providing such services. Since 1995, the first full week in March has been chosen to highlight the progress made in industry, not only in the country, but throughout the whole world. Also, it's a time when pet sitters are provided with kits and tips for delivering better services. Moran has received several awards for her many contributions to the pet sitting industry. Professional pet sitters are qualified to cater to your pet's needs anytime you are away from home. A pet sitter can work from the pet owner's home or have the pet brought to their own home. You need to be passionate about pets first of all, but you also need training, and this is provided by reputable companies on the internet to become a pet sitter. If you love pets and enjoy taking care of them, then this is a very good career move. Thankfully, there is training available on the internet. Pet Sitting International claims its members completed 17 million assignments in 2015 alone. Pet Sitting International also claims a revenue of $391 million in 2015, which is a huge revenue and high revenue. Pet sitting is more personalized compared to kenneling or boarding, which is different from these. Pet sitting as a word was added to Random House Dictionary in 1997. Organizations like the Red Cross are known to provide pet sitting training, which is widely available. If you are a pet owner, then you know caring for one is not an easy job. On National Professional Pet Sitters Week, we get to honor those who take up the task on our behalf. This day celebrates pet sitters, but it also about our own pets, for there would be no pet sitters without pets. So on National Pet Sitters Week, training and learning kits are available. These are made available to established pet sitters and those willing to enter the business. This week is also commemorated as No More Week in US from March 3rd to 9th, which is the first and second week of March this year. It takes place from March 3rd to 9th. It is an annual campaign against domestic abuse and sexual violence that aims to rouse individuals, organizations, and communities to make a change. The event is an opportunity for everyone, governmental and non-governmental organizations, and the communities to unite to stop domestic abuse and sexual violence. The UN defines domestic abuse as a pattern of behavior designed to gain or retain power and control over an intimate partner in any relationship. Abuse can be physical, sexual, emotional, financial, or psychological, and it frequently has a detrimental impact on other person. There has been a long silence on domestic abuse due to social constructs and the lack of information and support for domestic abuse victims in many parts of the world. A 2009 report in Northern Ireland showed that domestic abuse is the least likely of all violent crimes to be reported to the police. A survey of 28 European nations was undertaken in 2014. Only 14% of the women reported their most serious event to the authorities, indicating a significant underreporting problem. It is safe to say that the statistic is even higher in countries in Asia and Africa, which are red zones of domestic abuse and violence. The No More Project and National No More Week were founded in March 2013 by a collaboration of advocacy organizations to stop domestic violence worldwide. No More is a project of the charity called Neo Philanthropy. In September of the same year, they launched a media video campaign, No More PSAs, featuring celebrities to pass the written message. In 2016, No More helped raise over $1.2 million for grassroots organizations through the No More Challenge, an online fundraising competition held in 2016 and 2017. The COVID-19 pandemic brought an upsurge in the number of domestic abuse cases. Reports show that stressful lockdown conditions triggered violence in homes. There was a recorded rise in intimate partner violence in Africa, Asia, and Europe. There was a 131% increase in domestic violence in areas with strict lockdown measures in India. Victims were trapped inside their houses with their abusers with no means of escape, leading to further underreporting. The fight against domestic abuse continues to range for the safety of every woman and man in such conditions. National No More Week is here to get everyone to say no more to domestic abuse and bring about positive change or an international, societal, and international individual level. So, National No More Week was founded in 2013. In 2022, it was observed from March 6 to 12. Emotional abuse is experienced by both men and women. So, attend a domestic violence, sexual assault education even near you. You can also bring a friend or family member with you. Help create awareness by sharing related events, conversations, and experiences with friends online. You can also participate in donating to online fundraising and flying the hashtag No More Week to help end domestic violence. You can also have the blue No More symbol printed on a plain t-shirt and wear it to show solidarity with the anti-domestic violence movement, or download a sticker from No More official website and attach to your official outfit. The majority of domestic abuse incidents go unreported to the authorities. Disheartening statistics show that a woman is assaulted or beaten every 9 seconds in the US. According to the statistics, women between the ages of 20 and 24 have the highest likelihood of becoming victims of domestic violence, according to statistics. Domestic abuse may not always be physical and could be emotional, financial, or sexual. Roughly 80% of domestic violence victims tend to be women, a sobering statistics. We have the opportunity to change people's thinking and teach them not to tolerate abuse or to be abusive in any form. Domestic violence is a significant issue in every country, and we have opportunity to promote positive change on a societal and individual level and promote positive change. Many domestic abuse victims live in fear and silence. We urge them to step forward and say, well, no more, and give a call for help by openly sharing their experiences. It gives a voice to the silence. Domestic abuse victims can now obtain the care they need to recover and get back to their feet. During these days, several charitable groups that help domestic abuse victims come to light and support victims. Today is also commemorated this as National Consumer Protection Week in US from March 3rd to 9th. The US Federal Trade Commission FTC is observing National Consumer Protection Week during the first full week in March. Every year since 1998, the FTC organizes events in the first week of March as part of National Consumer Protection Week to educate and make people aware of their consumer rights. In the digital age, the onus on consumer protection has intensified as they can easily fall prey to online scams and frauds. National Consumer Protection Week is an opportunity to arm ourselves with information to protect and safeguard our financial well-being. This week is also commemorated as Dental Assistant Week from March 3rd to 9th in US. Every year, first full week in March is a special time to appreciate those amazing professionals who have helped you in maintaining healthy teeth. Can you believe that the dental assistant profession was born when Dr. C. Edmund Kells began using his wife as an assistant in his dental practice? Dental assistants are integral members of a dental team that support dentists and patients during procedures and perform administrative duties. Their responsibilities include helping patients improve their oral hygiene skills, preparing patients for dental procedures, taking dental impressions, exposing dental radiographs, infection control, recording patient notes, and scheduling appointments. This week is also commemorated as Chocolate Chip Cookie Week in US from March 3rd to 9th, the first week of March. These yummy treats are filled with chocolate chips. Chocolate chip cookies are usually made by combining sugar, flour, salt, eggs, baking soda, and chocolate chips to form a dough. The dough is rolled out, cut, and baked at a set temperature, and the result, delicious chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip cookies may be chewy or crunchy. These cookies can be eaten alone or accompanied by a beverage. This week is also commemorated as Celebrate Your Name Week in United States from March 3rd to 9th, which is the first full week of March. Celebrate Your Name Week has been celebrated annually since 1997. It's a time to show appreciation for our names and find out more about them. We all have names and they are a vital part of our roots. Have fun during Celebrate Your Name Week by learning all you can about names, their meaning, and their origin. Today is also commemorated as What If Cats and Dogs Had Opposable Thumbs Day in US, which is annually observed on March 3rd. On this day, we ask ourselves a critical question. What if the most commonly domesticated animals in our lives could mimic some of the genetics of their owners? Imagine a world in which your dog could open their doorknobs or your cat could open a tin of tuna by herself, since you are always running late, hilarious, or scary. We are still deciding. In the meantime, let's continue to indulge in our imagination. Today is also commemorated as Venezuela Carnival in Venezuela. Venezuela Carnival is celebrated annually 3 days before Ash Wednesday. It is held in February and March under the liturgical calendar ruled by the lunar cycle. And this year it takes place on March 3rd. El Carnival is a merrymaking movement and festival dating back to ancient Egypt civilizations that celebrated agrarian cycles and Shrovite. Today, the festival is known for the parades, balls, street shows, performances, and food, especially meat. Today is also commemorated as Talk in Third Person Day. In US, on this day, people talk to each other in the third person. Words like I, you, and we are not allowed. People are supposed to refer to each other as he, she, or they. Did you know that this day was celebrated for the first time 16 years ago? It is celebrated across the globe by people by talking in the third person and enjoying all the laughter and fun that follows. It allows people to do something different from their daily routine and do something funny, creative, and entertaining. Today is also commemorated as Soup It Forward Day in US on March 3rd to urge people to spread love and generosity with a bowl of soup. Since 2018, this day has been celebrated around the country. Deliver a therapeutic pot of your tasty chicken noodle or pea soup or any vegetarian soup to a family member or friend. Maybe they have been sick or have had a rough time recently. In any case, a little of your homemade broth coupled with your visit should have them feeling right as rain. Today is also commemorated as Simplify Your Life Day in US, which is observed annually on March 3rd. This day gives us room to declutter and save some time and money while we are at it. It was created by professional organizer and ex-Air Force officer Carmen Cocker to provide easy tips and tricks that allows us to give more room for a simplifier life. On the third day of the third month, you can choose 3 ways to make life simpler and calm the chaos. There's one thing simply your life day teaches us all. A simpler life is a happier life. This day is focused on encouraging decluttering, organization, and financial planning. It's all about taking small yet actionable steps to achieve a healthier, simpler life, especially in the finance department. For a lot of us, the simple thought of dealing with anything that has to do with our own finances is a core, be it paying bills or making financial plans of any sort. It gets quickly discouraging. Decluttering of any kind is a task we all would prefer to avoid, and this fear often begins with not knowing where to start. The good thing about Simplify Your Life Day is about it promotes decluttering in small, easy ways and encourages us to choose just 3 of these ways to observe this day on the third day of the third month. Today is also commemorated as Peach Blossom Day in China. Every year on March 3rd, a special festival dubbed the Peach Blossom Festival is celebrated in Hunan, China. This must not be confused with another festival of the same name, Japan's Hinamatsuri or Doll Festival. Peach Blossom Day falls in March as peach trees in both Japan and China blossom during this time. Both festivals also run along similar lines. They both celebrate peach blossoms, less so in Hinamatsuri. They feature in the Hina dolls prominently. And both festivals are days that celebrate what they believe the peach blossom represents women. Since we love any day that celebrates the women of the world, we absolutely adore Peach Blossom Day. Today is also commemorated as Navy Preserve Birthday in US to commemorate the establishment of United States Navy Reserve. It was established in 1915, making it more than a century younger than the US Navy. Because Naval Reserve Birthday is not a federal holiday, people and business go about their daily lives on this day. However, The birthday is typically observed at various Navy Reserve units, the Reserve headquarters, and the Navy Memorial in Washington, D.C. The Navy Reserve program allows citizens to serve in the Navy part-time with full-time training close to their homes. Until deployment, reservists are members of the Navy Reserve. According to the historians, there are two main periods in the United States Navy history, the Old Navy and the New Navy. Today is also commemorated as National Soup It Forward Day in US. The aim of the day is to bring people together to do something for others. In this case, it is making and sharing soup. Soup Sisters is a non-profit charitable entity that aims to help women, children, and young adults by providing them with soup. Giving soup represents kindness. Soup is a warm meal that is not only nutritious, but also a symbol of health and gratitude. Many literary classics depict the giving of hot soups to those in need on a frigid day as a gesture of kindness. Perhaps this is the season why founder Sharon Hapted decided to name her organization Soup Sisters. Today is also commemorated as 33 Flavors Day in US. Though the reason for this particular date is not known, many believe that it is when the famous Baskin-Robbins ice cream company was founded. Whether that is true or not, people love to celebrate this day as they try out new flavors that they have not tried before. They can celebrate this day by treating themselves to a well-deserved treat or by taking their friends and family along to the nearest ice cream shop. The timing of the day holiday, which falls right in the middle of the spring, makes it perfect for eating ice cream, but in limitations. Today is also commemorated as Bulgaria Liberation Day in Bulgaria. The Treaty of San Stefano recognized Bulgaria as an independent state in 1878. This festival commemorates the Bulgarian volunteers who, with the help of Russian and Romanian soldiers, freed Bulgaria from nearly 500 years of Ottoman control during the Russo-Turkish War from 1877 to 1870. Today is also commemorated as Canadian Bacon Day in Canada. Today is also commemorated as Caregiver Appreciation Day in US. The day aims to honor, appreciate, and thank selfless caregivers who give their time and effort to care for those in need. Caregivers cater to people with different conditions, such as those living with disabilities, illness, and the elderly. Around 40 million caregivers provide care to 16.6% of Americans in the US. Caregivers play an essential role in providing Today is also commemorated as Clean Up Australia Day in Australia, which is observed on the first Sunday of March as part of Australia's efforts to conserve the environment. The idea is to encourage and empower communities to clean up the parks, bushland, water reserves, and other parts of Australia. For over 30 years, residents, schools, individuals, communities, and business have volunteered in their thousands to clean up and get rid of plastic and glass. The focus is equally on preventing waste and removing it from the environment. Today is also commemorated as Finishers Medal Day in US, which is celebrated on the first Sunday of March as the official recognition of the rigorous training that thousands of men and women undergo for a marathon. This year it takes place on March 3rd. The day encourages all those who cross the finish line, regardless of their place. Just like an accolade of participation, the day is observed in the honor of strength and endurance of the runners. Since 2018, Finishers Medal Day has uplifted and celebrated thousands of runners who participate in the marathons across the United States. There is also commemorated as Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race in US, simply referred to as Iditarod. It's popular annual long distance sled dog race that travels from Anchorage to Nome, all within the American state of Alaska. The race has mushers and a team of between 12 and 14 dogs that must cover the distance in 8 to 15 days or more. The Iditarod was established in 1973, starting as an event to test the best sled dog mushers and also the race has a musher and a team of between 12 and 14 dogs that must cover the distance in 8 to 15 days or more. The Iditarod was established in 1973, starting as an event to test the best sled dog mushroomers and teams and becoming a highly competitive race over time. Today is also commemorated as Global Omega 3 Day. Omega 3s, that is, O3s, are beneficial fatty acid nutrients found in every cell. EPA and DHA omega 3s found in marine sources play a vital role in the heart, brain, and eye health and in supporting a healthy pregnancy. 80% of the people worldwide receive less than enough EPA and DHA omega 3s. So, global omega 3 Today is also commemorated as International Ear Care Day, which creates awareness about how to prevent hearing loss and how to take care of and maintain proper health of our ears. It is an initiative of the World Health Organization. This step was also taken to provide necessary helps to provide with hearing impairment and help them lead better lives. People observe this day by raising awareness on ear and helping those in need. Today is also commemorated as Japan Dolls Festival in Japan. The Japan Dolls Festival, Inamatsuri, also called the Doll Festival or Momonoseku Peace Festival, and observed on March 3rd every year. The Japan Dolls Festival, Hiranmatsuri, is also called the Doll Festival or Momonaseku Beach Festival and observed on March 3rd every year. It is a traditional and unique celebration originating from Japan. While customs differ depending on the region of Japan you are in, one thing is common that the main reason this festival is held is to celebrate female children. Flower blossoms from the peach tree are seen as harbingers of the spring. They ward off evil spirits too, and there are some reasons they are essential to this festival. People also get together to pray for the Lenten. Female kids continued health, happiness, and set up cute dolls adorn houses of course. People preserve festive food. Modern celebrations have evolved in including honoring women of all ages. Today is also commemorated at Mattress Day, Malawi, which helps to honor the political heroes who gave their lives in the struggle against British colonialism. The British Central Africa Protectorate was established by British and including the whole of present-day Malawi. Malawians decided to create their political parties. The Nyasa Land African Congress, NAC, emerged as the strongest voice of Malawians. This day is celebrated to honor country's heroes and inspires the next generation to go after change and improvements in the society. Today is also commemorated as Missouri Compromise Day in US, which was established on this day in 1820 when the Missouri Compromise was approved by Congress. The Missouri Compromise was a law that kept a balance in the Senate between free states and slave states. The new piece of legislation was passed by the 16th United States Congress on March 3, 1820, and signed by President James Monroe on March 8th of the same year. So free states were the ones in which slavery had been abolished, and slave states were those where slavery continued to be in practice. The Missouri Compromise, however, only lasted for 34 years. The end of this compromise came to be as a result of the US Civil War. Today is also commemorated as Mother's Day in Georgia. The first country to start the celebrations of Mother Day on March 3rd was actually Norway, and Georgia was the second. Though Norway marks the Mother's Day on different dates each year, it was originally declared by the first president of Georgia, Zavd Gemsakudia, to replace International Women's Day and was officially approved by the Supreme Council in 1990. Nowadays, Georgia celebrates both Mother's Day on March 3rd and the International Women's Day on March 8th. On this day, we celebrate mothers, future moms who are pregnant, maternal bonds, and mothers' influence on this family and society. Today is also commemorated as Namesake Day in US, celebrated on every first Sunday, paving the way of International Celebrate Your Name. Namesake Day is set aside for the people to investigate the origin of their surnames and given names, who or what they are named after, and what the names mean. While you share your name or surname with many other people, there is always a reason why your parents gave you that name. That is why Namesake Day was created to allow people to research the history behind the names to see if you can live up to its expectation. Today is also commemorated as National Anthem Day, which observes the songs nations around the world have adopted and chosen to represent their national identity. For America, The song is a star-spangled banner and has a rich history to match up the pomp and circumstance any national anthem should garner for the country it represents. Learn about all the fateful night which inspired our national anthem and find ways to celebrate it today. Today is also commemorated as National Cold Cuts Day in US. Today is also commemorated as National I Want You to Be Happy Day in US, which gives each of us opportunity to bring someone's day through simple act of kindness and selflessness. Don't you love being around people who spread cheer everywhere they go? Today you can be that person. It's easy to do. And well, we want you to be happy to read on for simple ideas that will help you to help others to be a happy day. Today is also commemorated as National If Pets Had Thumbs Day in US. While pets bring unconditional love and joy to our lives, not having opposable thumbs can present some limitations. On March 3rd, National If Pets Had Thumbs Day, we are given opportunity to imagine what life could be like if our fuzzy little friends had an extra digit. Would they use it for good or evil? Grab your pet and read out together. Today is also commemorated as National Moscow Mule Day in US. The quick iconic drink just needs 3 ingredients, vodka, lime, and ginger beer. Is also being served in copper cups. Today is also commemorated as National Mulled Wine Day in UK and US. There is also commemorated as World Wildlife Day. The incalculable value of wildlife people everywhere rely on wildlife and biodiversity-based resource to meet our needs, from food to fuel, medicines, housing, and clothing. For us to enjoy the benefits and the beauty the nature brings us, our planet, people have been working together to make sure ecosystems are able to thrive and plant and animal species are able to exist for future generations. So let's celebrate wildlife and the important conservation work being done around the world. It is an opportunity to celebrate the many beautiful and varied forms of wild fauna and flora, and to raise awareness of the multitude of the benefits that their conservation provides to people. At the same time, the day reminds us of urgent need to step up, fight against wildlife crime and human-induced reduction of species, which have wide-ranging economic, environmental, and social impacts. Given these various negative effects, Sustainable Development Goal 15 focus on halting biodiversity loss. So with this, we shall end the commemorations for the day. Thank you everyone for joining us in this wonderful commemorations on this day. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same link. Take care. Good night.